So in this video we're going to look at the sheet called 3 chord tricks, and on this sheet we have a number of chord progressions that are our first songs. So we're starting to take the chords that we've learned and turn them into songs, which is a really exciting thing. Now for those that weren't in class this week, we're going to take the start of this video as an opportunity to write down what these chords actually are. So grab a pen and let's go. So I need to put an extra sheet behind these, I think, because the light's coming through. Right. This chord here is a D, so we write D here. This one's an E minor. This one's an A. And this one's a D. Moving on, this is D minor, and this is E minor. We're now in the next line. We're going to write above this one G, that's A, this bar's D, that bar's G. This one is D, this one is G, this one is A, and then the final two bars on page 1, we have A minor and then C. And there's 2 pages on this. So the first bar here is the F major 7. On this one we have E minor for this bar and then C for this bar. Okay. If you didn't get that, if you missed some of those, then just stop the video and then go back. We're now going to go through these really quickly, and we'll talk about rhythm, so the way that these should be strummed, and when needed I'll give you an example. So going back to page 1 of 2, and this progression at the top. So as you can see, this is this old tear jerker here, Love Me Tender. So we've got 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each bar, if we look up at the stave here, we can see that these notes here, so these match up with here, are played as minims. And a minim is worth 2 beats. So a minim is, you have a stem and then you have a hollow head. So it's a stem and then a hollow head. Kind of looks like a coffee bean with the centre of it taken out. So 2 beats. So each chord is going to get strummed for 2 beats. So we'd have D, 2, D, 4, E minor, 2, E minor, 4. The next one here, so this is a song called 505, and this is an Arctic Monkeys song off the second album, I think. And if we have a look again at the stave up here, we can see these sort of UFO shapes up here, and these are semi-breves, and a semi-breve is worth 4 beats. So when we strum these chords, so this D and E minor, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, move to the next chord, 2, 3, 4. So D minor, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 3, 4. Down here, the Bob Dylan fans amongst us, we've got Tambourine Man, and these rhythms, we can actually use the stave, the tab, to work out the rhythms for this. And let me tell you how. So you can see this little stick that's coming out of the bottom of these tabs here. Well, that tells us that that column of notes is to be played, this column of notes is to be played for 1 beat. So it's a crotchet. Just let your eyes go up to the stave up here and you can see that we've got a series of crotchets there. So we'll go 1, 2, and then we can see how these 2 columns are joined up by this bar down here. This is actually called a beam. And this tells us that these are quavers. So we've got 3 and 4, and the rhythm is 1, 2, 3 and 4, and when you're strumming that, It'd be down, 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 up, down, up. And then if we go right down to the final 2 bars of the first page, we have, so there's no indication of rhythm here, so we need to look up to the stave, and what do we see? We've got these again, these spaceships, and they are worth how many beats? Correct, well done, 4 beats. And this is the Sam Smith song Stay With Me. It's quite a nice simple chord progression, so we just strum each chord once. 1, 2, 3, 4, change, 2, 3, 4. And then from there we're on to the second page, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with this, I'm not going to play them, I'm not going to give you specific examples. I'd really like you just to look at the rhythms and try work out the rhythms. Sorry, this camera keeps shaking, there's not an earthquake happening. There we go, we're still. Yeah, I'd like you to study the rhythms and try figure out the rhythms yourself. And then next week we're going to be playing these songs with the backing tracks, and that'll give us an opportunity to just check in and see whether you got the rhythms right. There is a final example, I Shot the Sheriff. The chords for that are E minor and C. The rhythm on that is a little bit unique, and just a slightly more advanced one, I guess, and we will demonstrate this one. So this is all offbeat, so it's a syncopated rhythm, so the emphasis is put on the offbeat. And when we talk about the offbeat, if we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on all the ands, that's when the majority of the action's taking place. And in this instance, that literally is the case. We're just doing all the strums on the ands. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now on the ones, we mute the strings. We bring our hand down on the strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2. Just like that. So there's lots of different examples there of songs that we should all know. Well, no, we shouldn't all know them, but easily findable on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or whatever. Wouldn't expect you to go through them all in a week, but if there's any there that are of particular interest to you, dig in with them, and then next week we're going to have a go at playing them all together. So enjoy that. It's a practice sheet that will hopefully bring some life to these chord changes, which at the moment I guess sound a little bit abstract, but here's a chance to see how they work in the context of playing actual songs. So enjoy that.